All right, assalamu alaikum, family. I think we are live. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent and Merciful. I bear witness there is no God but Allah, who we believe came in the person of Master Father Muhammad. And we thank him for raising up for us the living and exalted Christ, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And we thank those two for leaving in our midst a divine warner and guide in the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. It's in there 3 names. I would like to greet you all with the greeting words of peace. We say it in the Arabic language of Assalamu alaikum, which simply means, for those who don't know, it simply means peace be unto you. Man, we got part 2 today of $1 billion lessons, man. If y'all missed yesterday, please go back and check out yesterday, because we learned so much, man, about how those in high places think when it comes to business. So, man, this is going to be really, 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 really good. This is going to be part 2. So again, if you're tuning in and you seem like something missing, make sure you go back and check out part 2. Somebody said that jacket look, hey, watch out now. Hey, I got a little something up my sleeve now. Hey, I'm trying to see what you got up. I'm trying to see what you got brewing up your sleeve. I'm trying to see what's brewing up your sleeve. Okay, here we go. Hopefully y'all invited somebody this morning. Yeah, hopefully y'all invite us. I see Brother Kevin down there. Oh, he tuned in on Instagram. Man, let me know where y'all from in the comment section. Shoot, man, let me know where y'all from. Let's see how many people where everybody tuning in from this morning, man. Let me put your city and your state down there in the morning so we can see, man, the impact all over the world where everybody's tuned in from. Oh, we got Fort Wayne. Oh, we got Chicago, South Carolina, Dallas, Texas, San Diego, St. Louis, ATL. Man, look at this. All over the world, people is tuned in. Man, Tuscaloosa. See, you know I couldn't say that right there. Tuscaloosa, Alabama, New Jersey, North Raleigh, Maryville. I don't know what SD is. What's that? Milwaukee, Baltimore, Flint, Michigan. Oh, look at this. Lansing, Michigan. Akuki. Man, I'm finna go on getting started. Y'all finna have me looking crazy trying to say these cities. Let's get right on into the show today. Make sure you take notes if you're here on the Zoom, because we do want to hear from you at the end. We want to hear, what did you think about this, man? What stood out to you? And then we're going to get on with our dialogue. Here we go.
4 years in corporate, right?
4 years at the first company.
At Pedigree.
Yeah, I come home to Atlanta. My bad, I know we're a little bit out of order.
Yeah, but why? Okay, so you quit.
I quit.
Why?
So my brother was growing that. So I think folks don't understand how to get hungry out here.
Yeah.
Because we're all chasing that like individual glitz that we don't think about adding value to somebody else.
Facts.
Yeah.
4 years in corporate, right?
4 years at the first company.
At Pedigree.
Yeah, I come home to Atlanta. My bad, I know we're a little bit out of order.
Yeah, but why? Okay, so you quit.
I quit.
Why?
So my brother was growing a business, and I thought, you know what? With my knowledge, I can help you accelerate this business way faster.
What's the business?
At the time, the business was called Eden Easy Beds. He was building custom like raised garden beds. Again, think about this. It's 2013, 14. He's got all these clients in Midtown and Buckhead and folks that want a custom.
Oh, I know everybody's not going to stay here to the end. Again, this is from Social Proof Podcast. Somebody was asking me what's the guest name yesterday. His name is Mahdi Woodard. Mahdi Woodard, and brother David Shands. He's the founder, interviewer on Social Proof Podcast. So the link to the full thing is also inside of the description on YouTube as well for you guys to go watch it in full. But it's a really, really good. It's 2 hours long, so you're gonna take some time, but really, really good. Episode 421 is episode 421 on Social Proof Podcast.
Custom, you want your backyard built out so it's got a serenity garden and cacti and succulents and that wave. My brother's always been innovative, but he didn't have that business structure. So I come in talking about profit margins and he's like, bro, look,
which frustrates your brother. Like,
Absolutely.
yo, bro,
Like
what are you talking about?
I just like to make what I feel. You know what I'm saying? This provides for my life. I ain't trying to scale this business, right? And so, yeah, it wasn't like I didn't have a full thought out plan. I was a little like the corporate part of it. You get once you go high enough, you get introduced to the politics.
Yeah.
And so now I'm like, I kind of got a bad taste in my mouth.
Racial?
Not necessarily racial. There's always an undertone just in business, period. I think there's a racial undertone. People don't want to address it. It's an elephant in a lot of rooms. But you're also just dealing with like, it's sometimes, there's a phrase that said a prophet isn't recognized in his own hometown. I was homegrown talent, but I was going to get more money to go somewhere else, right?
Got it.
So the promotions they can give you are only going to be so many percentages versus you leave them go to another company. They look at your whole portfolio of work. They might give you $40,000 more, whereas your company can only give you an 8% raise or 5%, that type of stuff.
But in this 4 years, so this is like 2 years after that conversation, and this is like a dream situation for you. I'm trying to figure out what changed to make you say, I'm going in here, I'm out.
Because I'm still from the hood. I'm trying to get back to Atlanta. Nashville was a pit stop, right?
Yeah.
I left to go to Pennsylvania for college. And I was always coming back to Atlanta. What other city would you want to live in as a young black man, right? Yeah. I go to Nashville and I go, I don't think this is going to work. I just got promoted real fast. So it's like, dang, all right, let's do another year. And get promoted again. You get on the board of the Boys and Girls Club. And so you start living life, but I wasn't in the driver's seat. So this is my first time I feel like I'm going to make a decision for me to take back my life as opposed to just being mentored and coached and stewarded into all these things. Let me go do what I want to do. I've always made the right decision. Let me go have some fun. Let me go wild out. I'll figure out this work thing. How bad could it be?
Yeah.
Real bad.
Right. So you're thinking, okay, I'm going to quit here.
Yeah.
Move to Atlanta and just find a job in Atlanta.
Yeah, I figured it out. But I got enough money right now to like, it ain't got to get decided today.
Yeah.
I got enough saved up, right? So I play with my brother in the business, see if we can figure something out. I go party and see if something come to me.
Yeah.
I blew through probably $40,000 in 5 months.
Yo, and back then, Atlanta wasn't that expensive to live.
Yeah.
It's different now, but you got 40 grand, bro.
With no income.
Come on, man.
In the same lifestyle.
Yeah.
Eating out, partying
that.
like a rock star, right? Yeah. $40,000 in less than half a year. It was like, this little exercise over. Let me go back to corporate.
Yeah.
Right? So I went back to corporate for a second time.
What company?
It's called Newell Brands, another huge conglomerate, but they own Papermate ink pens, Sharpie markers,
Got it.
Graco, if you got car seats, I'm sure you do.
Yeah.
Calphalon cookware, so another big old company that owns a bunch of small brands. By small, they still do billions, right?
Yo, just you having to listen. You don't think of. I mean, we all know it.
Yep.
But it's very rare that we get to have a conversation about a corporate entity that owns a bunch of different corporate entities.
Yep.
But that corporate entity was started by a human.
Yes.
So even as you're talking, I'm thinking, how can I be Newell at some point?
Yeah.
Or Mars?
Yeah.
But you get the family history, right?
Absolutely.
So tell me a little bit, do you know how Newell started?
I don't know the story of Newell, but even as you're thinking about it, this is that stuff that nobody's actively saying, be an entrepreneur, build a conglomerate. But your subconscious is saying, I don't think these people can outsmart. I think I can figure this whole thing out as well. And we can talk about how we're using it in entrepreneurship, especially for like where I'm at and where I'm going. But I'm thinking about this stuff, but you still got to pay the bills, right? You still got to do that base level stuff.
Like, was Sam Walton a genius?
Arguably.
You know what I mean?
Right? At least if we just put it inside the world of business, because his thought process was same thing. How far does it take a person to drive in order to get what they're looking for? At this point in history, Kmart is bigger than Walmart, right? So they're thinking through, like, how do we intercept this thing? So they we're going for rural. We want this to be a destination. You're going to load up your family on Saturday morning. You're going to come out here and you're going to get everything.
Everything you need.
Yes. But here is the genius of Walmart. Do you know how Walmart surpassed Kmart? All right, cool. Old days, you might have even seen this. You ever been to like an old hardware store, anywhere with like a mom and pop running it? They take inventory by hand. Somebody walks through the aisles and go, all right, we need some more screws. So at the time that Kmart and Walmart were both doing inventory the same way, Walmart found out about these things called UPCs, universal product code that you can scan, and you can hook up to a computer network in your store to tell you what inventory you got, right? Now watch how fast this starts to work. You go to the cash register, bing, cash register tells the back of the store, we're out of it. Back of the store says replaying. When they replay from the back of the store computer says, call the manufacturer, tell them to send us some more. That happens in real time. Versus I gotta go, take my lunch break, get my notepad. We need 12 more screws. Go to the back. We need 12 more, right? Now, multiply this with speed and you get a supply chain. So now they can get more product from the point of origin to the distribution center, to the store, on the shelf, faster than their competitor. How many times are you gonna go to a store and they be out of stock before you stop going? Versus you go to this other store and they always got what you need.
Yeah.
And that was the slow creep that helped Walmart jump past Kmart, is that they understood IT and supply chain.
So he was a genius.
Yeah.
But no more genius than you and I.
Correct.
Because we can figure this stuff out,
Absolutely.
right? And I think as entrepreneurs, we see stuff in the market. We're like, ooh, we need to fix that.
Yes.
And maybe the genius of Sam is saying, okay, instead of saying it, I'm going to move on these genius ideas that
Correct.
I have.
I also think a lot of the sort of, older corporations, and even if you look at how they think about it, we still too emotionally attached to our business. And we talk about, what do you want to own 100% of a grape or 25% of a watermelon? If we're just looking at volume, we're not willing to split equity. We're not willing to partner up. We're not willing to say, hey, Dave, man, it's a 3-year opportunity, bro. Let's do this in Roswell and bust the money down. Well, it was my idea first, and I thought, right? We still very immature in business because we new to it. Yeah. Versus some of these seasoned folks are like, wait a minute, you buying a cash flow positive business? I bet I'm integrate that. Okay, cool. All right, let's do it. Right? It ain't this deep, like longing and purpose and calling on how they're making business decisions.
Gotcha. Half a year into Atlanta.
Yeah.
You're all like hookah and women and
I'm all out.
Right?
Yeah, I'm all out.
You're like, all right, I'm gonna go get a job, and I would imagine it's not hard to get one because
But I'm thinking, so I'm coming from Mars, and in my role in Mars, I was doing marketing for North America. So I kind of understand America and how it works. Yeah. Up pops a job that's global. So take the same thing you've been doing in North America, but now the world is your oyster. Global marketing manager on PaperMate. Throw my name in the hat. They call me right back. Hey.
Oh, wow.
Right? How fast can you? I was in Vegas partying, and they were like, can we do a phone screen? Yes. Let me get myself together, splash some water on my face. But the one question I ask is this really global? Or like we just gonna sit in Atlanta and call different countries? Yeah. She like, nah, it's boots on the ground. So now I'm fascinated because I can take what I've been applying in Kmart, Walmart, Target, and do it in Spain and Brazil and whatever other place, right? I want to see what the world is talking about. Yeah. Do I have the chops, or did I just get lucky? I got this first job kind of through my mentor. Am I who I think I am, right? Am I him?
Yeah.
So I go back into corporate on the global team for PaperMate ink pens, and the whole world opened up.
Really?
First day on the job. You normally come in, you fill out your tax form. They said, come get your laptop and go to the airport. My first day, I had to catch a flight, right? Now, it was domestic. I was going to Chicago for some training stuff. But that's how fast. My second week, my boss said, you got a passport? I said, yeah. She said, you got a credit card? I said, we don't have our corporate cards yet. Look, I'm going to forward you my itinerary. We're going to Europe. We're going to London, Milan, and Paris. Second week.
Sheesh.
So you need to know how to catch a flight and wake up and start working. We walking right into focus groups with an Italian translator. And at the end of this, we expect a one-pager on what you thought, some high-level thoughts that we can take and put back in front of the bosses to figure out what we want to do. So there's no like, well, what's the history of the company and where's the bathroom? Now you in middle management, right? You got teams and budgets. Yeah, let's go. 3 different countries and figure it out. Yeah.
What was that first experience like?
Crazy. Because you don't, there's no more, like we know it from this level where you have to come up with the idea and make the decision. Prior to this, like my managers help you make a good decision. I don't know if I go with that shade of green. What about blue? Over here, they're like, what you think we should do? You tell us, catch a flight. Right? But you start learning the same things apply. So we went to Italy and we went to France and we went to the UK because those were 50% of the sales in Europe. So if we can figure out what works in those 3 countries, we got a good chance of protecting our market share in Europe.
Gotcha.
So we still got America that you're in charge of, but we actually need you to go understand the nuances and the difference of these different cultures because you can't do what work over here over there.
Got it. Give me a big corporate mess up. Where did you mess up? One big corporate mistake and you're like,
I'll give you 2. And the one I thought was big, it actually didn't end up being that big, right? So I messed up one time on packaging. Thousands of packaging. I had one typo, right? So this dog food had 3 sides on the box. Beef and chicken, beef and chicken, beef and cheese on one of the panels. And cheese is an allergen for certain dogs. So now I got to go before the regulatory folks and be like, yo, I messed up, right? But this is where relationships matter. I'm super cool with our regulatory department because they let us know, are we about to break the law when we coming up with these marketing ideas, right? So I want to be like, I want to get right up to the law, but I don't want to break it, right? So now I've messed up on this packaging and I know enough to know, let me go call what's called our exposure. How much money in packaging is already printed?
Did you design it?
I didn't design it, but similar to the succeed as much as you want a breath. I oversaw it.
Yeah.
So I'm the final yes or no. I signed off on it. It's got my signature on the proof.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? On the substrate, everything. So we sit down, we talk. It was about a couple $100,000, right? I think I'm gonna lose my job. It's more than I make.
Yeah, that's like,
right?
Yeah, for sure.
It wasn't in the millions, a couple $100,000. She said, let me make some phone calls. Make some phone calls. What's the risk? What's the exposure? Came back to my desk. She said, I got good news for you. They said, we're okay. We're going to flow through that inventory in about 60 days. After that, we need to replace it. I'll draft up a memo to customer service. So if anybody calls in, here's the SOP, the order process. We're going to apologize. We're going to give them a coupon. But like, I'm glad you caught it.
Yeah.
It could have been worse.
Yeah.
We could have had 10 million and you could have been fired, right? So that was one mess up, a physical one. The other one I had was a mental mess up.
Okay.
I was in South America doing research for Papermate, and I was pissed because I felt like I should be getting promoted, and I'm not. And I'm down here and I'm doing all this stuff, right? And I'm with 2 other people that are more senior than me, but they're not on my team. I'm on Papermate, somebody else is on Sharpie, and somebody else is on Uniball, another ink pen, right?
And how long were you working at this company?
At this point, maybe a year and a half.
Okay.
And one of the senior marketing managers, she said, you dummy. You don't realize that you are in South America doing research for the #1 ink pen company in the world, and they only sent you. This is a test to see, can you handle the next level? So here's what you need to do. Get your head back in the game. Go do the research. Go send a 1-pager. Go show your boss and your boss that you can send you to 3-4 different countries and you understand what's at stake. I was throwing myself a pity party.
How did she know that?
Because she was 2 levels ahead of me.
And you were like complaining to her?
Yeah, I'm complaining to her. We having drinks. It's the end of the day. This is a man. And she's like, this how you get promoted, stupid.
Yeah.
You don't get promoted by aspiring to do the next level. You get promoted by taking responsibility and starting to do the next level, demonstrating. And then you come back and they say, well, you've already been doing 30% of the next level.
Yeah.
Here, let me, right? And they got all type of cool stuff. They can retro your pay. They can give you a spot bar.
We got to go back on that. Golly, look at that, boy. Woo-wee. That's a GM, that boy.
Right? So that was one mess up, a physical one. The other one I had was a mental mess up.
Okay.
I was in South America doing research for Papermate, and I was pissed because I felt like I should be getting promoted, and I'm not. And I'm down here and I'm doing all this stuff, right? And I'm with 2 other people that are more senior than me, but they're not on my team. I'm on Papermate, somebody else is on Sharpie, and somebody else is on Uniball, another ink pen, right?
And how long were you working at this company?
At this point, maybe a year and a half.
Okay.
And one of the senior marketing managers, she said, "You dummy. You don't realize that you are in South America doing research for the #1 ink pen company in the world, and they only sent you. This is a test to see, can you handle the next level? So here's what you need to do. Get your head back in the game. Go do the research. Go send the 1-pager. Go show your boss and your boss that you can send you to 3-4 different countries and you understand what's at stake." I was throwing myself a pity party.
How did she know that?
Because she was 2 levels ahead of me.
And you were like complaining to her?
Yeah, I'm complaining to her. We having drinks. It's the end of the day. This a man, ain't. And she's like, "This how you get promoted, stupid.
Yeah.
You don't get promoted by aspiring to do the next level. You get promoted by taking responsibility and starting to do the next level, demonstrating. And then you come back and they say, well, you've already been doing 30% of the next level.
Yeah.
Here, right? And they got all type of cool stuff. They can retro your pay. They can give you a spot bonus. They can do a bunch of stuff to right side it, right?
Right.
But I don't know this, right? I'm still kind of, shit, like get your head in the game.
Right.
And yeah, I snapped to it. But had I not had that intervention, talking about coaching, talking about mentorship, I wouldn't have even turned in my homework assignment because they didn't tell me that was the homework assignment.
Right.
You're supposed to know it. What you mean? You spent $30,000 in South America just to come back and tell us your feelings?
Right.
Nah. We ain't going for that.
Facts. From a corporate perspective, did you, for the most part, outside of this kind of faux pas, were you always thinking, how can I add more value, or how can I just get my job done?
Me personally it wasn't to the end till I thought about how do I get I was always thinking like, how do I do more than my job? Because that is like how you progress through the company, or at least how you get better opportunities. Because we've all had stuff where you get a good opportunity and then a not so good one. You're like, I don't like this, right? I'd rather be the teacher's pet in corporate than to be the other person on the team. Dave, do this, right?
Yeah.
So I'm always thinking that way. It wasn't until I really got burned out with the corporate politics where I was like, you know what? I'm gonna wear this Navy hoodie on Monday, this burgundy one on Tuesday. I'm just gonna go in here and do my job. And then I knew, just like on a spiritual level, I ain't gonna be able to stay here much longer because I'm not even this person. It's changing my character. It's changing who I am. I got to figure something out.
How long were you working at that company?
A little over 3 years.
A little over 3 years.
Yeah.
Okay, so you got 7 years of corporate experience.
Yeah.
You're not feeling this whole situation.
Yeah.
And I mean, when did entrepreneurship creep into your brain? Like,
So it crept in 6 months before I started wearing my corporate uniform, right? So we started being broke before. The clothing brand man you're familiar with, before everybody else listening. It was a group of 5 guys. Shands was the one that pulled us all together. He and I met in Atlantic Station to just talk about ideas that we felt like needed a team to implement. So I'm telling him some concepts I'm thinking about. He's telling me some concepts. And then we get around to being broke before. And I'm like, hey, bro, I don't know how big this can be, but I know it needs to go first. It'll give birth to these other ideas that we're thinking about.
So y'all got together. Let's just talk about what could be something.
Yeah.
And then through this conversation, being broke before it comes up.
It was one of the ones that he was sitting on. Yeah. So once he told me about it, I'm like, oh, that's the one.
Yeah.
That's it. Because I'm thinking media and messaging. How many folks, now this is going to get nerdy. One of the universal stories is rags to riches. Being broke before ain't nothing but a rags to riches story.
For sure.
This is Cinderella. This is Scarface. This is any other plot around starting from here and ending up there. It's the American dream put on a t-shirt.
Yeah.
Let's do that one.
Yeah.
Because I know how to story tell.
For sure.
You understand product, t-shirt. They already had a t-shirt company making money, how you print and set up screens. I don't know about setting up nobody's screens.
Yeah.
I know how to tell stories. Yeah. And so we jumped that business off. It's starting to do well. Again, let's talk coaching. He is the first person I know that's been an entrepreneur the whole time. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, bro, nobody tell you where to be? Yeah. And you doing well? Like, what you do? You know what I mean? Like, we friends, but like, tell me this story. Right. Yeah, I come pick you up. Let's just ride and talk. Yeah. You know what I mean? He expensing lunch, but on his own company. Right? I'm like, hey, that's kind of lit, right? So as we talk through the business, I'm like, yo, I'm finna jump. I'm ready to do this full time. He like, nah, not yet, bro. Like, we just get started. I'm like, no, we just made $20,000, bro. I'm out of here, right? And so we started that business. It probably took me about 8 months before I left corporate to go on to being broke before full time. Yeah. But that was the one that I started to see how these same principles could apply in entrepreneurship. Gotcha. But I'm not thinking about coaching. I'm not thinking about consulting. I'm thinking about running my own business. Yeah. Take these principles, use them for you, and then build something. Yeah.
So what happened 6 months later to where you're like, okay, now's the time, I'm out?
I'm going to contradict myself because I understand the entrepreneurial bug for a person that's working a job.
Yeah.
It bites you and you like, I'm giving them 40 hours, I'm giving me 12. If I had, that'd be 52 hours.
Yeah.
I'll be more productive than you could ever imagine, right? So you starting to see the power of taking something out of your brain, putting it into the world, and the world responding favorably.
Yeah.
So I've been doing this for other people, but this feels different. This is different. I make more money over here, but this is a different rush. And I also understand the scope and scale and structure. So let's talk about magic and agenda. Let's talk about building out retail accounts. Let's look at doing a multi-segmented marketing strategy and hitting these people with this message and that person with that message. Like, I'm like, oh yeah, I got something, right? And so in the same vein, as much as I would tell the average person, don't quit yet, there's another part of me that says, when you know, you know.
When you know,
and can't nobody make that decision for you. I quit. Shout out to my old people, man. I quit on the work from home day, bro. I ain't even make it. I didn't even make it in the office. I was like, you know what? This is it.
Yeah.
They did me one better. Oh, Dave, I missed part of the story. I tried to quit first. So we started being broke before in October. I tried to quit my corporate job in February. They said, you maybe just need some time off. You're like, you tripping, right? Like you just got a big promotion. You're doing well, young man. Don't burn the boats just yet. They was like, take a month. You know what I mean? Don't tell nobody. Just take a month. You'll still get paid. Just check in with us. Let us know you're healthy. Everything's well. And then like, let's talk in a month, right? Yeah. And so I'm like, cool. I come back. They like, you can work part-time.
But that month, you getting busy with
I'm getting busy. Yeah, and I get freedom. I can wake up. I can do whatever. I realize that my production doesn't match corporate. This go to sleep at this time, wake up at this time. I'm not on that same individual like rhythm. Mine's different, right? So my whole life, I've been trying to force myself into somebody else's timeline, not even knowing that there's an alternative. Like corporate is most active early morning, middle of the afternoon. I tank in the middle of the afternoon. I rarely do any real work. And like right after this, I ain't finna do nothing. I'm finna chill, and then I'm gonna re-engage about 5.
Right.
So where I was getting off work, I'm now getting a resurgent energy. So it's that type of stuff that you don't know until you get introduced to it. Yeah, so I try to quit. They say take 30 days, we're still gonna pay you, and then come back and let's come up with a plan. I come back, they say you can work part-time. You only gotta come to the office 1 day a week. You can do these projects off of your list, and we'll give you 50% of your salary.
You must be really good at this point.
I'm doing well. I'm doing well with my people. I'm doing well by my reputation.
Yeah.
I'm getting paid like $65,000 to work a day a week.
Dang.
I quit that. You got to be out of your mind. So my work from home day, I tell my boss, I don't think she's like, well, let me talk to HR. This is the most cold-blooded corporate thing ever happened. She wrote back and said, HR said, since you already put your 2-week notice in 4 months ago, right? This week ends in a pay period. So you don't have to do 2 weeks. You can just drop your stuff off on Monday. Bring your corporate card, your badge, your cell phone, and your laptop. Leave it at the front desk. You're good. I ain't getting no going away brunch. Mahdi, thank you for your service. Here's an ink pen.
You get to talk to your friends at the job.
They didn't even know what happened, bro. To this day, right? Like, they were just like, drop your stuff off at security. You don't even got to come give it to your manager. Ain't no exit interview. All this stuff that I've seen years and years and years. Like, thank you for your service. You be on the little LED screen at work. You get none of that. Right? We ain't go out for nachos, nothing.
You felt the way?
I cried in the car. Wow. I dropped my stuff off. I pulled into the parking deck and fell apart. Because I knew that this chapter was over, but I didn't know what the next chapter looked like. You know what I'm saying? And so again, now we opening up to what becomes this identity crisis, what becomes the blues, depression, whatever it might be for somebody else. My whole world just got turned upside down. And I think I'm excited, but I know I'm for sure scared.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I
Especially
mean?
you got a business, a t-shirt business at that.
Yeah.
And it's 5 of y'all.
Yeah. But we doing well, right? By my first version of understanding entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
We done hit a couple, 20,000 here, 30,000 there. And I'm like, oh yeah, I see the scalability of this. We 10x that, and then we're going to 10x to 10x. We in there, right? But I don't fully understand entrepreneurship yet. And I don't fully understand the dynamics of business partners. And I don't fully understand that I don't speak the same language as everybody else.
Yeah.
So we all equally excited, but then I started talking like a robot. You know what I mean? Like nobody talks, like average people don't sit at the dinner table talking about scope and scale.
Yeah.
I'm trying to grow this thing, right? I'm trying to make some more money.
And I guess your business partners, because I imagine myself as one of your business partners where I'm like, yo, let's just go. Let's go do some cool stuff. And you start talking corporate, and I'd imagine they frustrate you because you're like, y'all don't get it.
Yeah.
Like,
but here's the dope part, right? And my business partners were all successful. I'm the newbie. So they also got wisdom. So they're not antsy.
yes.
Right? One of my business partners already a millionaire. We 26. He's self-made millionaire already. So he the one saying, don't quit yet. Like, cool your jets. I got you. All right, I put this whole thing together. Trust me. I'm like, well, he's like, I see it, right? So in a lot of ways, I take my own responsibility for not accepting the coaching, not even seeing it as coaching, right? Not knowing enough to call it what it was, where like somebody actually do see the scope. But I'm just acting like the marketing person, right? He acting like the CEO, taking care of his people, making sure everybody's straight, managing 5 different personalities. I'm like, let's sell some more, right? So now as I get to sit in the CEO spot, and now we building out a team, and I'm able to see scope, scale, right? Like it changes, and you get a whole different level of respect. So I'll D him and text him and be like, bro, I was tripping. My bad. I didn't know what I didn't know. You know what I'm saying?
But I think that's a really good dynamic because you coming from corporate, there's so many things that need to be done before something gets done, right?
Yeah.
And in your mind, yo, we got to like cross these T's, dot these I's. The self-made millionaire is like, yo, bro, let's go outside. Let's go make it happen. You're like, whoa. So you have a certain wisdom. They have a certain wisdom. And I'd imagine there was kind of like some sort of.
And I'm adding red tape where it don't belong.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
So there's some stuff now where like, we don't have to meet. We can just text and be like, all right, let's do it, right? I've never seen anything like this. You gotta meet, you gotta get approval, you gotta clear the budget, you gotta write it up, you gotta like run it through the organization.
Right.
And it might take 6 weeks to do something that take 3 days.
Yeah.
On the entrepreneurial front, you like, sounds solid to me. Like, let's go with it, right? So yeah. It's dope.
And how long did y'all run that business?
So that business, this was we started in 2015. It shot out like a rocket ship, and then things just turned in 2017 when we lost one of our business partners. And so I say this to anybody. We talk to folks about a SWOT analysis, strengths and weaknesses. And you might even write down, like, I used to read, this is some nerd stuff. I used to read the annual report for Polo Ralph Lauren to understand the fashion industry, right? And inside of it, one of their risks or worries was, we don't know what would happen to the fate of the company if we were to lose Ralph Lauren, the guy, right? If he were to become incapacitated or die. We can't guarantee that these future projections are going to work if that's not here. So you think about like, what will we do? We keep going until you sit down and you try to do social proof and ain't nobody sitting here.
Yeah.
Right? You go to a business meeting and you missing a person. Whole seat empty.
Right.
Right? You go to the bank to sign off on some stuff and you got to, can we update the documents? This person is deceased. And then you like, I'm just going, nah, you're not.
Yeah.
You're not just going to muscle it for it. Yeah, you're not. You know what I'm saying? So that was probably the bigger part that sort of just set us down in our seat and trying to figure out what it was going to look like.
When I think about that post that you made, like, yo, I'm thinking about going back to corporate, this makes more sense to me now.
Yeah.
Because I met you as an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
And our thought process when things get rough isn't, let me go back and get a job.
Right.
You know what I mean? But it makes more sense now because 7 years of experience where you get to really do the same cool stuff without as much liability, make more money.
Right.
Now that story makes sense to me.
And then we know, because to do math real fast, right? Let's say a $30,000 a month with a clothing brand.
That's why with 5 people minus what it costs to make 30 grand.
Right. I'm just excited because I understand supply and demand and I understand value, right? But for anybody listening, $30,000 Like that old TLC clip. This is how you can sell 10 million records and be broke. $30,000 on a clothing brand. If we just be generous and say half of that goes to the cost of materials and marketing, now you're down to 15. Right? We ain't talked about taxes. We ain't talked about nothing else.
Right.
And it's 5 of y'all.
Yeah.
So even if you could bust down to 15, that's $3,000 that need to be taxed at 30 to 40%. So you walk away with $1,850, $2,100, and the opportunity to try to do this again next month. You know what I mean?
But you still get to say you run a 6-figure business, so that's cool.
Yeah, for sure. You get it. You know what I mean? It helps for where you're going.
Right,
so
sure.
I laugh because when I look back at my life, it all fell in the right order. But when you're going through it, I was going through it, right? Yeah. But now I'm like, I'm so grateful for the small scale corporate, then the big corporate, the first entrepreneurial project, then the agency. Now now I can.
Yeah.
What situation you find yourself in? Let's talk, right?
Yeah.
Ain't got no money? Let's talk about it, right? Yeah. Got a dream? Let's talk about it. Working your job, trying to figure out when to quit? Let's talk about it. Yeah. So I get to sit back from, hindsight being 2020 at this point, and when we're advising or coaching or consulting, like we bring in all of that to the conversation. Yeah.
Walk me through that point where, we're after been broke before, and like it's almost like you're trying some stuff, and then what's your man's name? Ish?
Yeah.
Yeah. You'll bring Ish around, like, yo, we about to do some stuff. And
Shout out my dog Ish.
Yeah, man. I rocks with that guy, man. So it just seemed like a period of silence.
Yeah.
Before you start making these really cool posts on social media.
Yeah.
Like, give me this, what's going on in this time frame?
Yeah, let's call it the arc, right? So I went from, when we started Been Broke before, I was living in a fancy condo downtown. But I'm thinking, I done read up on these entrepreneurs. So before stuff get rough, I done saved all this money. I blew the first 40. We ain't gonna do that again. I'm gonna move in with my homeboy. I'm just gonna be a roommate. That'll give me some runway. Yeah. So I'm gonna move in there, and now I don't have to spend as much money, right? I'm still holding on to parts of the dream. I got my little muscle card, but I really should have a cash card, right? That type of stuff. So I go from that, and what you're talking about is what I call the move back home years, right? Mm-hmm. Where how are you simultaneously able to help people with their business, but you're struggling to figure out yours? But keep in mind, at this point, I wasn't trying to do what I'm now having to do. I didn't leave corporate to be a consultant. I left corporate to grow a clothing brand. And now the clothing brand, to things outside of our control, is on a downward trajectory. I got to still figure this out. Yeah. But I'm getting up on that point of burn the boats, right? Burn one boat, right? But so in that space of silence, or in that space, I just call it finding my voice. Yeah. What do I want to talk about? How do I want to approach this? And then I started learning about what people call consulting. So my homeboy Ish was always an entrepreneur. Shout out to Ish. Single-handed, most talented person that I know as far as left brain, right brain balance. So Ish show up and he's like, yo, let's build a marketing agency. I'll do all the creative stuff. You do all the strategic stuff and manage the relationships. I'm like, bet. Now I know agencies because I've been working with them. Yeah. All right, let's dive into this thing. Yeah. But it's still it's a pivot that's birthed out of survival. It's not birthed out of desire. Yeah. You know what I mean? And for, again, entrepreneurs, sometimes it's gonna be the business that you meant to grow. Other one is gonna be the one you were called or you were supposed to grow. Yeah. Right. So I'm going through the process of humbling myself. I was publicly successful my whole life. Yeah. Star quarterback as a kid, straight A student, went to a fancy college, corporate. I'm taking pictures at the passport photos well before people had passports, right? I'm in Jackson, Wyoming in 2011. Kanye go in 2017. I'm in the same city, right? So people know me for being successful, and now I ain't got no money. Yeah. And I don't have no prestige, and I don't feel like my voice is valid in this space. Because if you're so smart, I want you to figure it out for yourself. That's the negative chatter that I'm hearing. But I'm also like, wait a minute, I'm still that same person. I just got to figure out how to articulate it. Yeah. And so then you just, from a social media side, the reason why I tell people to test, you got to test the content, see what resonates, and pick the stuff that works. Yeah. And then make more of the stuff that works. Yeah. don't overcomplicate this.
Yeah.
As I went through my years of overcomplicating it.
For sure. And the reason I'm talking about this is because I think your story is so relatable to a lot of people, because you could be entrepreneurship is a roller coaster ride.
Yes.
You lit.
Yes.
And then you're not lit, but you still gotta kind of seem lit. You know what I mean? Because the people who knew you from being lit, you don't want them to say you fall off. I remember, and I don't know, this maybe have been put in my head, and because I love you. So Mahdi had this black, it was a Chevy, something.
I had a black Mustang.
Black Mustang.
Yeah.
Sorry for the disrespect.
You are.
It was a black Mustang. And then I remember, I think you got in a car accident.
Yeah.
And then he came around in his truck.
Yeah.
And I think we had an event. And again, I don't know if it was by design or it was just one of the more parking spaces. You had parked.
Like, so far. So far. You feel me? Listen, bro. Listen to me. I bought that car from my uncle for $1,800. It got because people be thinking. So you talked about it, right? When I was writing stuff that some of it I hadn't lived yet, and some of it I had to live. So I wrote a quote that said, "Keep your self-worth and your net worth in different places. That way, as your money goes up and down, it don't change the way you feel about yourself." Right? Because I'm now on this up and down thing, but you still need to be a high esteem, even if your money low, even if your car change, right? But I get this car and it's like, it's on its last leg when I get it, right? The driver window don't work. It gets 11 miles to the gallon. It only burns premium, and I live 60 miles from Atlanta.
For sure.
Right? So then the word that came out of that is, some of y'all got what it takes to succeed at entrepreneurship. You just got too much pride to drive a cash car. And then I'm going like, all right, you want to be a prophet? You want to tell everybody what they should do? Yeah. Sprinkle, sprinkle, cash car. Right? Sputter, 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 and keep going.
Yeah, bro, I don't know why this story stuck in my mind. And I never said anything to you.
No, you're good.
And I couldn't even judge you because I think things were really rough for me at the moment.
Yeah.
I just didn't lose my car.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you have struggles, right? It just so happened that visually it wasn't as noticeable for me. Yeah. But I remember, I'm like, bro, me and Mahdi going through something right now.
Listen, bro, here's the cool part though. That Mustang got crashed and I got a check because I was net positive on the equity. So that thing bought me 6 more months of entrepreneurship, right? I'll tell a funny story because we both know Crystal Lee. I was helping her buy her company from the person that first started it in that same car, right? And she's like, meet me downtown at the radio station. Yeah. And I pull up and the parking is like $16 and I ain't got it. So I'm spinning the block trying to find somewhere to park on the street, but my window don't go down, so I'm starting to sweat. And I'm like, I can't walk into this meeting with her.
Come on, my dude.
And try to tell her how to buy a company, and I ain't got no money to pay for parking, right? A parking spot opened up. I slapped that thing in park, jumped out, dust myself off. We go in the meeting, negotiate. She buy the company. I'm driving home. She don't know this story. I told it to her maybe a year ago on one of her calls, and she randomly cashed at me like $200. I'm crying driving down 75 headed back to Griffin.
Wow.
Because I also understand that, like, not to get too preachy, like God working through me. I had an unhealthy relationship with money. I was making so much of it, relatively speaking, so young. It was frivolous. Back when we just go and just $300 jeans, $500 jeans, let's do all that. Another round for everybody. And now it's like, let's see if who you say you are. All right, can you still write in this space when you ain't even inspired? Can you still coach? Can you still show, right? We can even go deeper than that. Sleepless nights. Your coaching program.
Yes, sir.
Bro, there were some days where you would be double booked. It was the best thing ever happened in my life. Because you double booked and you're like, hey, can you jump on this call at whatever? I'll cash app you. I'm like, bitch, we gonna eat today. I put together a whole presentation. I would show up for class. But I'm learning how to run a coaching community.
Wow.
And you like, here goes $75. And I'm like, bro, we up.
Yeah, you know what's crazy, bro? Like, so I think I booked you to speak at like one of the events. And since that day, you were always just so appreciative. And it wasn't that much money. He was like, yo, he gave my first opportunity to speak, or not opportunity, but my first paid gig or something like that.
Sure.
And even to this day, I couldn't understand why you were so grateful, because it wasn't that much money. It might have been a few $100.
It was about $400.
Yeah,
I remember.
It
was about $400.
Wow.
But it wasn't, again, think about, like, so most people at our level now, they're excited to think about corporate partnerships. Man, call me. I know how to do all that. Part of my link, right? I can't wait for everybody to catch up to where I used to be.
Yeah.
But then I had to go walk the humble road to catch up to where y'all been through, right? It wasn't you thought you was gonna go from 6 figures over here to 6 figures over there without no trial, right? Well, all right. So I just had to go through that process. When I'm telling folks, money might not be your issue. Some people got an issue with being on time. And you're gonna lose a 6-figure contract because you're gonna show up to a meeting late.
100%.
And then you're gonna learn that everybody not flexible with time, right? Other people like money issue, time issue, quality of work. Some people not even gonna give you no second chance. You're gonna send over that first draft and they're gonna be like, you don't get it. Hey, look, we're gonna still pay you, but don't worry about it. You good. We'll get somebody else to do versions 2 and 3. So I always coach other entrepreneurs on, I don't know what you gotta conquer, but entrepreneurship gonna take you through it.
100%.
And stick with it long enough and you'll come out on the other side and you'll be grateful for it. Because now I don't even really remember the hardships. Like, we laugh about them, but like, I ain't not ate in a long time.
100%.
You know what I'm saying?
So let's, like, moving forward to this, for the last few years, you've been just dominating in the social media space. And as you were starting to do this, did you understand that you were going to make money from this?
Yeah.
Because it was just really, really cool posts. And then you did something which was crazy. You had these amazing posts with these like themes. And it's almost like if I'm scrolling, I didn't have to see your name, but I knew it was you.
Yeah.
And then you took all the stuff off.
Yeah.
A few times. And I'm like, yo, why is he doing this?
Yeah.
But it keeps working for him.
Yeah.
Right? So in this like content creation space, did you know this was the path, or you're just being yourself?
Both, right? I'm being true to the situations that I'm in, right? So the stuff that I'm writing about, those types of things is being true, right? So I've evolved in this thought process where we would tell people like, get out of your emotions. Right. Nah, visit them, right? Create from them, but don't always post from them. So I say create emotionally, post strategically, right? Now I know when I want to, however I want to roll content out. But in this space, ask me the question again.
Did you know when you were creating?
Yes.
Yeah.
So now I'm able to let time catch up.
Yeah.
All the stuff you learn from school, all the stuff you learn from corporate, and all the stuff you learn from trial. I also helping a lot of entrepreneurs behind the scenes. Me and Ish pitching people. So I'm seeing what that process look like. I'm understanding where revenue is at, how people making their money, business models. But it's scaled down to $1 million versus at 100 million or $1 billion. So what does it look like to be a tenth of what you used to? How would you talk to a person with they last 1,500 versus talking to a person with 15 million? What would the motivation is required is different.
Yeah.
So now I'm like, oh, I found my voice. I'm understanding this. I can take these bigger concepts and then just make it digestible in a carousel or make it digestible in a video. And then you start to see it work. And I'm tracking everything. I got everything. I have a spreadsheet. I've tracked every follower that I've gained since 2017 to now.
Wow.
So when I start gaining 3 followers per day, we own to something. The next year, 17 followers per day. The next year, 193 followers per day. What did I say? And when did I say it? And how many people reposted it and why? And what did I say? And when did I say it? Remix it, flip it, ideate, switch it out, move this, change the hook, add the call to action here, move this to the middle, change the arc of the story to read this way, put the ending before the beginning. Right now I'm in my marketing bag. Yeah. To the point where I mean this with all humility. If I want to, I can't miss. I'm fully locked in. Anybody's brand, any voice, any tone. Let's go. I understand the words that resonate with humans. It's just what product are we swapping out? Yeah. So the cool part is I get to just be me. and we get to talk about the evolution and the authentic and all other parts of it. Now, I didn't know what version of the business model would pop.
Yeah.
Right? So the marketing agency was dope, but we hit a problem that most agencies hit, which is, do you go and sign a new client and realize I don't have enough people to do the work? Yeah. Or do you go try to hire some folks and realize we don't got enough income to pay them? But you know that you can't keep getting clients and doing all the work yourself. Yeah. But we didn't handle it the right way then because we didn't know. Now I know, or I got a perspective on how I would handle a similar situation. Yeah. We didn't know how to gradually increase our prices over time without offending your first client. We didn't know these things. So now I'm able to teach and coach and try them out. And then all of that led to, I had a friend, shout out my homeboy Jason, you know Sosei, right? Yeah. So they, so Jason say, Mahdi, I know all that million stuff, like it sounds cool, but like, you gotta make $100,000, right? I'm like, yeah. Close, been broke for the agency, yeah. So, why don't you teach people that? Mm-hmm. I was like, bro, it been in my face. I'm so thinking about 100 million, 10 million, 40 million that like I don't fully understand that $82,000, $412,000, $609,000 will change a person's life if it comes at the right time.
For sure.
And I know exactly what to do to help them get to that level, right? And then out of that was birthed the coaching, the consulting, the books, the classes. But I'm still a student at hand. I had 32,000 followers before I ever taught a class on how to grow followers. Mm-hmm. I had been broke before, it was over 10,000. The agency page had however many 10,000. And now I'm like, okay, I've studied marketing. I went into corporate and I've been doing this on my own. I'll now teach you what I've learned. Yeah. Versus back to go full circle. Some people jump out here, they go viral, and now they're a content coach. Yeah, you ain't doing right by people, bro.
Facts. Yeah. That's a fact.
Yeah.
And so give me a little bit of your sauce on how I can grow. Let's say, how can I grow my business page? Let's say, okay, personal coaching.
For sure.
Real selfish. We haven't put any attention on the morning meetup page.
Okay.
But we're running ads from the morning meetup page at a very small scale, just like so the bot starts to learn. But we need to grow it to 10,000.
Okay.
But I need that morning meetup page to pop.
All right.
What do I do?
How many you at now?
Let's see. I literally just turned it back on.
I like it.
I ain't do nothing with it. Let's see. We are at, the morning meetup. If you're listening to this, y'all, go to the morning meetup.
I like it. Let's do some real strategy in real time.
The morning meetup. Here you go.
Yeah.
I got 4,691.
All right. That'll be the invoice amount. Cool.
Dang. Golly.
So, all right. So we need to double our this first level. We need to get this to 10,000, or we need to get members to 10,000.
We need to get members to 10,000.
All right. And roughly how many members we got? I know it may ebb and flow. People come and go.
700, 600, something
cool.
like
So
that.
we need a 10x, a little bit more, 13x, and we need to grow this, right? So, couple of things I would be thinking about.
And I'm gonna take notes.
Please do.
Yeah, this normally
you
costs.
have to understand the core aspect of why people are there. So I would take 3 different groups of folks and interview them. I would have somebody on my team pull the data and say, who are our longest standing members? Mm-hmm. I'd interview them separately. Who are our newest members? And give me some people in the middle, right?
Okay.
Especially if you can find folks that left and came back. That's rich. Because I want to understand, I don't want to guess at why I think you're here. I want to understand why you're really here, because these are the messages that's going to resonate through the content. It's going to pierce through and get to the human level of it. Now, I got some hunches. I think most people are here because community first.
Yep.
Entrepreneurship is lonely, and you want to be part of something.
Yes.
Everybody don't live in Atlanta, even though we think they do. So this online community part works, right? We're also here because I'm getting access to, for all intents and purposes, our charismatic leader who've went through this stuff, right? So now some of this David wisdom, some of the stuff that you've learned, in addition to just teaching it and sharing it, you got to get back on your content horse and ride, right? Yeah. You also got to give the whole team a goal. Y'all, we going 10,000 by this date, right? So that everybody understands where we're going, what the big vision is. And then I would come up with maybe like 3 marching orders on how we're going to get there. We're going to do A, we're going to do B, we're going to do C. I'd start or end every call with an update on how we're progressing against this. I put an incentive on all of the members let's just say up to the first 1,000, y'all gonna be the founding 1,000. Y'all gonna be the core 1,000 that's gonna get us to 10. And I'm gonna celebrate you guys differently than I'm gonna celebrate everybody else. Because you're here for a community. You're here for something bigger than just learning how to develop a funnel, right? So I want to acknowledge that and make it a thing.
Gotcha. And real quick, so I'm getting these 3 groups of people: the longest standing members, the newest members, and just some in the middle, right? Yep. And I guess the longest standing members, I'm asking them, why have you been here?
Why did you join? Why are you still here?
Newest members, why did you join?
No, no, the old people. Why did you join? Because you might find out that they joined for how long has it been running?
2017.
Yeah, so we 5-6 years in. Am I true to why you joined?
Yeah.
Right? Do I want to be? Have I evolved? But why did you join then, and why are you still here?
Gotcha.
Right?
Okay.
And then with them, it's like, if you could give us one message that would tell the next 10,000 people why they should join, what would it be? So let them tell you.
That's hard.
Right?
First off, this little coaching session right here is going to make you hundreds of thousands.
It's all good.
Because they about to buy. I'm telling you.
All good.
Because people need this, right? And I put a lot of people in the hot seat.
Yeah.
I'm just so glad you're not putting me in the hot seat.
No, you're good.
Just, just regular coach.
Let me know if I need to spin up an affiliate code. And then
100%. I was going to have that conversation off camera, but
we can do it. We can do it.
Hey, listen, all Mahdi's coaching will be some links in here, okay? So y'all can get this. All right, cool. So that's good. Am I true to why you joined?
Yeah. So why did you first join? Mm-hmm. Why have you stayed?
Yeah.
And then if you were going to give one message to a person that needed to join, what would you say?
Got it.
Right.
And what am I saying to the newbies?
So to the newbies, you're still asking them why they joined, because you want to see, did they join for a different reason from the people who were first here?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then I would say, I would give them the hardest question. From your immediate 1 week, 2 week, 1 month with us, what things would you change or improve? Because they walking in, right? The new people they don't know what they don't know, so they got all types of questions.
Yeah.
What thing would you improve instantly, right? All of this I'm gonna use to shape my messaging. But I know from being one of the people that spoke in the morning meetup, but it feel like when I spoke, the community real.
Yeah.
The chat going, the questions going, somebody else is moderated. I'm like, oh yeah, that's big dog. What's up? Talk to me nice. You know what I'm saying? I'm leaving here with something. But I want to get the words from them because I want to allow them to be part of what we building.
Yeah. Okay.
That's
good.
You know what I'm saying? And in that first 1,000, you're at 700. So let's rapidly get from 700 to 1,000. Yeah. And let's tie a bow around that. I don't want this 1,000 to leave. So, hey, y'all, now, when we get to 10,000, how would y'all like to be rewarded? Because we always say, well, I'll give you some cash. I'll buy you a trip. That might not be what they want. How y'all want to be celebrated when we hit 10,000? And then they going to become your sort of fanatics, your folks that's really, really championing this dream that's going to help you get to the other 9. Because here's what I'm hearing. You got 4-some thousand, but you got 1,000 engaged followers. Mm-hmm. We should be averaging 1,000 shares a post.
So I have to, I got to get back on my content.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Because I've been...
You can't just be Rolex Dave, baby. You got to, you know what I mean? You got to get it. Right?
Yes. Okay.
Because you trying to 10X something. So, and y'all doing this together. You just the front person. But now they vested in it. They know where we're going. And then what we get when we get there. And then they get to see that hunger of you again to come back and be like, some stuff we were talking off camera, me and Ryan were talking off camera. Some stuff you can cut down. Some stuff you got to make.
Yeah.
Some short form content got to write it out.
Yeah.
And make it. You know what I mean? Yeah. But get back in that particular bag, because here's how you win on social now. We are over the era of the person that's just trying. We are in the era of the expert. Mm-hmm. We all got enough motivational quotes. We all got enough, here's what I would do with 1,000. We all got enough beginner level stuff.
Yeah.
You've built out communities of hundreds of thousands of people. Teach us your ways, right? Like champion, really go deep into the business stuff that you've learned. You've changed from when you started. You a husband and a dad, like back into the content, right? Because now we riding with 1,000 people in the battle because we trying to rapidly get to 10,000.
Yeah. Yeah.
And not just for vanity's sake. So I put milestones in there. 1,000, we do some celebration. 2,500, we do some celebration. 5,000, we do some celebration. 10,000, big celebration where I recognize the first 1,000 people.
Got you. Okay. This is good.
And we ain't even got to the content yet.
Yeah, you create all that content you create? You create? When I see anybody that does a carousel, I instantly get angry. I get angry, bro. It's like, dang, I want to do that.
Yeah.
But to sit down and do that,
It's okay.
it takes focus
You don't have
and
to.
incredible creativity. And I guess if I sat down, I think I'm creative enough to make it.
Yeah.
But
I don't think it's a good use of your time to make it.
Yes.
But it is a good use of your time to drive the vision forward and tell the story and let somebody else put it in Canva or let somebody else, right? But the key to a carousel is one cohesive thought that every page should leave them almost being forced to swipe to get to the next level of the information. So everything has a cliffhanger, right? So it's, let's say if you're telling the story of leaving Cheesecake Factory, even though you've told this story a few different times, right? How you decide to tell it in slide form, you might start with like, here's an example of giving somebody a big payoff, right? So you may say, like, how much money you got now?
right now,
Yeah.
16, 1700.
All right, cool. 16,700 in your front pocket, right? But now I'm teasing. You may start with the journey of building a multi-million-dollar business starts with a decision, right? Well, what's the decision? Swipe. And now you start the story, right? When I was working at Cheesecake Factory, I could never even fathom what? Swipe. That I was gonna have to bet on myself and da-da-da. In between here, you can add pictures, you can add audio clips, you can add video clips, whatever really stays true to the story. But the key is like, I gotta keep you swiping and give you this whole story. You know what I mean? Whereas most people just be like, and video, blah. Right? Like, nah, you gotta like lead me on this thing. And then the best is when you get to the end and that's still just start a new story. Now they like, bruh. And I say, come in for part 2. I train my community that we're gonna engage with each other. And train, I don't mean that in a derogatory way, but like, nah. If I'm gonna sit down for 2 hours and tell this story that's gonna benefit the collective, y'all better act like it's benefiting the collective. Now, if it ain't good, let me know and I can scrap it. My ego ain't that big. But if it's good, if I see these saves, then I better see some comments to match. If I see these saves, I better see some shares.
Does it take you 2 hours to put those together?
The good ones. Oh, they worth it though.
Oh, come on.
Yeah.
I clearly.
Yeah.
Clearly. Goodness gracious.
Yeah. Look, like the one with Juvenile. Did you see that? I basically said, here's what I would have did with Juvenile's marketing plan after the Tiny Desk.
I saw it. I didn't go through it. Hold on. Let's go look at it. Let's go see what's going on.
So I'll try to filibuster as you get there.
Actually, maybe walk us through each slide.
Yeah. So
if you don't mind.
You found it?
Yeah. No, I mean, I don't. There's a lot of stuff on your page.
I thought you was
like, you know where it's at.
It is a little ways back, but like I'll give you the synopsis of it. Okay. So shout out.
Walk me through the slides because I mean, the thought process on these slides is what I want to understand, like how you're doing that.
So I want to find it because it's gonna make it worthwhile. I just missed the Jada Pickle one.
And how many times a day are you posting?
I still average about 3 times per day.
3 a day.
And my thought process there is sort of the simplified version of it is you got 3 core areas I found it of where a person might be in your funnel.
Yep.
Right? So top of funnel, middle funnel, bottom funnel. Why not have a piece of content that matches up with each? Because when you get to our level where you got hundreds of thousands of people, nobody's all ready to buy at the same time. Yeah. So don't shortchange the folks who just found you by selling.
Yeah.
Still introduce, who are you? How you got here? Right? And then the people that's already know that story, they like, oh man, I remember it was the one by Cumberland Mall, right? So they still re-engage, but like try to hit those different groups. Now, when you're just starting, you may need to put more top of funnel content out because you're trying to grow followers more than you're trying to make sales.
Yeah.
I would say one of the biggest things I see entrepreneurs fall short is they try to monetize too soon without having a predictable revenue system. So it's not that you can't make money with a small group of following, but you're probably gonna need ads or something to get you in front of a large group of people.
Gotcha.
Versus my thought process was, I'm gonna create free content up to 10,000, and I'm gonna sell the 10,001. And the 10,001 person would never know I wasn't selling the whole time.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
Okay, actually, pull it up on your phone too, so because I want to see it while you're going through it.
So
This is a work along. So listen, y'all, go to Mahdi Woodard. Let me put this in here. MAHDIWOODARD. I'm sure it popped up a bunch on this episode. Let's go to the page. This is from July 2nd. Yep. And the cover screen is Juvenile, and it says, I just sit around and think of crazy marketing campaigns. Here's what I would have did for Juvenile's Tiny Desk performance.
Right.
Okay, go for
and
it.
so let's start it. I got to give my caveat. And I meant that when I created this post with love, I hope it was received with love. I wasn't taking a stab at him or his team.
Yeah.
I got in touch with his team, and it was well received. So I'll bring that to a close. So I want to start there because the internet messy. That wasn't my goal. So let's start with page one. This is coming off. We're like maybe a week after Juvenile performing, and it goes pretty well as far as the reception of it being on Tiny Desk. Yeah. The longer story was somebody said, Juvie, you should do a Tiny Desk. He's like, I don't even know what that is. And they went from not knowing to doing Tiny Desk in a few months. Yeah. And now I'm doing a little bit of Monday morning quarterback and say, here's what I would do to capitalize on this whole thing, right? So I said I would have pre-sold soldier rags. He's wearing one and slide one. That's his camouflage bandana. Each one would have came with an exclusive login code to watch the Tiny Desk performance live, right? As filming was happening, the cameras would have been able to switch between the artist and the live crowd and the virtual crowd. So when you're looking at Tiny Desk, they look at the audience of who's there at the office, they look at Juvie and Manny Fresh, and then whether we could toggle to a third screen and see a whole sea of people with their soldier rags, right? Cool. Now,
but you're saying from a marketing perspective, you know you're going on Tiny Desk a month in advance.
Correct.
You're saying, hey, producers.
Yes.
I got another feed I need you to go.
Correct.
And then in this whole time, I'm selling the rags.
Correct.
And I'm promoting that I'm going to be on this day.
Correct.
Got it.
Now, I don't know enough information to know if this is feasible. The producers might say, we ain't doing none of that. But that's not how we're approaching it. We're approaching it as if we got the ability to do the stuff, right?
Sure.
So from there, I said, that's not so here's how I talk about the cliffhangers, right? So here on slide one, here's what I would have did with Juvenile's Tiny Desk performance. The ... lets you know I'm going to tell this story.
Yeah.
Now I tell you the soldier rags. You might thought that was cool, but I say, but that ain't the genius part.
Because you got to find out the genius part.
What's the genius part?
Yeah.
This would have helped Juvenile's team understand the top 20 cities where he had the most fans.
Right. So we're on slide 3 now.
Yep.
And is the amount of, is this because you're giving a lot of information, so you have to put a lot in each slide, or is a lot in each slide strategic?
Nah, do whatever required for the story.
Got it.
So some stuff need to be short, some stuff need to be long.
Got it.
Yep.
Okay.
So, but what I want is the data. So I want to know where Juvenile's top fans are. Keep in mind, our era, like he blew up for the 99 and the 2000, but we all 35 to 50 now. Like, where are we at? Where are we dispersed to? Let's pre-sell these soldier rags just as a proxy to figure out y'all in Memphis, South Florida, Houston, whatever, right? I would have then organized a series of smaller room tours for each of those cities based on the data of where the soldier rags actually sold at, right? I hit the major radio stations and podcasts in each city to increase demand. I'm coming to Atlanta. I'm going to Social Proof. Absolutely. I'm going to be here, right? The original purchasers of the soldier rags will get priority pricing and tickets on the VIP experience. I'm purposely keeping the demand small because I want to sell out each one of these small cities. Not that somebody was like, he could sell out. That ain't the point of this. We're playing off of the Tiny Desk experience. He can still go to State Farm, but we can also do this at a 6,000 seat venue or a 1,000 seat venue, depending on what we're going for, right? Now, at each stop, I would have had
next slide.
Yep.
Page 4.
I'm sorry, page 4. At each stop, so we're going to his top 20 cities, I would have had exclusive merch, signed vinyls, and other memorabilia that loyal fans could purchase. But I purposely keep it limited, right? So you go here, we got 100 of these shirts only for the Atlanta stop. We got 200 only for New Orleans, right? I want to create this FOMO so that a person says, I ain't finna miss this thing again, right? Slide 5. Now follow me. Each of the 20 cities would have basically had their custom Juvenile performance and custom merch pack. So the Atlanta experience is different from Houston, is different from Dallas. And we would also build your email list of thousands of people who were not able to purchase, but we still got their data now because they went to the site, they entered their website, and we sold out. They went to the site, they entered the website, we got 8 shirts left, but we get in the data, right? Yeah. So those people who couldn't purchase because everything would have been sold out, but I still get their data. Now go to slide 6. Get a little lengthy, right? Mm-hmm. But because he actually cares about his fans, he can then follow up with an exclusive online only to recapture some of that demand. So let's say I had a blue shirt in Atlanta. Atlanta sold out. I can still come back with a general red shirt and put that online. You just don't get the blue one. You know what I mean? Especially once I know how much demand it is. Let's say if 10,000 people signed up, how many shirts would you print?
I mean, at least 10,000.
You feel me? Right.
Sure.
Okay. And right after the thousands of people were happy with their customized experiences, I would tour those cities again. So now I go from small scale, build a FOMO, build a demand, understand where they are. Now I'll come back and recapture all that revenue that I lost the first go round, right? And I slowly increase the capacity at each stop as I go from city to city based on registration data. Now we're not guessing at what venue. Because nobody want to come out and it's half sold. Yeah, I know I got more fans in Houston than Atlanta, so we're gonna do a bigger venue in Houston than Atlanta. But I'm using the science, right?
And this whole process is data gathering.
Yes,
so that you're making informed decisions as to what to do. That's so good,
right? Slide 7. Now we start to add in the multiplier effect because he has a partnership with a beverage company. I would have had them sponsor it, right? I get the merch sponsored by somebody with a print shop or ink. Yeah. You're Juvenile. You one of the pound for pound top rap artists of our era.
For sure.
Right? Let's leverage this stuff. But I would have had a documentary team traveling with him from city to city, capturing the events and interviewing his life in between each stop. Right?
Yep.
Slide 8. I record each song from the live performances and release an exclusive live album for his most loyal fans.
Goodness gracious, Mahdi.
I got to tell you how the results
This is incredible.
Yep. And after hitting every major city and collecting data on all the top fans, I'd invite them all to New Orleans for a block party where he'd do the 25th anniversary celebration of 400 Degrees, which was his top album.
Block party.
It dropped in 98. So now I done went to 20 cities, built some buzz, spent the block, came twice, and now at the end of 2023, I'm inviting everybody to my hometown. We finna have an old school New Orleans.
Shut the city down.
We finna shut the city down, right?
This is fire.
Slide 9. And to add icing on the cake, I would have taken a play out of Beyonce's playbook and licensed this entire thing to Netflix for worldwide distribution. I got the documentary as he go from show to show. I got the recording of the live album, and now I got this block party that you can't. You know that thing when DMX walks out on stage. Yeah. I got that in my hometown as the licensed sort of juvenile experience to a Netflix, to an Amazon, to a Hulu, or whoever else. And now this would ensure that all the fans around the world could get that feel of the OG who took over for the 99 and the 2000.
I love it.
Right? And I said, our pioneers deserve to receive their flowers while they can still smell them. Shout out to Kanye for that. Shout out to Juvie, Manny Fresh, and the entire team for giving us a tiny desk to remember.
All right. Incredible.
Yep.
I see the original post of, after watching the performance, and you actually tagged him.
Yep.
And then you have an update that says, I was able to connect with his team, and we had a very pleasant introductory conversation. Thanks for all who made that happen. Now let's all watch and rewatch the performance and push those streams up. Okay. So their team reach out to you.
Yeah.
And what happens?
So everybody's tagging, right?
Yeah.
Even though I'm like, it's all love, it's all good. They tagging him. Some people know his manager. They tagging them. They like, y'all need to see this. Y'all need to do this. And I'm just saying, like, I just do this for fun.
Yeah.
But if anything here is usable or of value, by all means, please use it, right? So someone DMs me that I know, and they're like, hey, I know his management team. Are you okay if I connect you? Sure. I connected with her, and I said, listen, the first thing I want to be very clear is I'm not taking a shot at y'all. Yeah. I just do marketing, and I love this, and I'm a fan. Yeah. So if anything, and she's like, oh, it's all good, it's well received.
It didn't seem like a shot.
But you know how the internet is. Folks can't wait. And I'm glad I got a community that's positive. But just in case it spill over into the trolls of the world, I want to be on record as saying I'm not doing that.
Sure.
So we had a quick conversation. I said, if you see anything of value here, take it. She asked me if I wanted to like jump on a bigger call with a team. I'm like, if it's warranted, but I'm just I got stuff to do.
Yeah.
But like, here you go. Right. Not trying to be none of that, but I'm just got to get back to running my business. Yeah. But it did amazing. Now that post you're talking about, that's a strategic strategy of mine. So I referenced the post that came before it in case the other 100,000 folks that follow me never saw it.
Yeah.
Now they go back and we relive this whole experience all over again, and I can get more stretch out of a good piece of content by just letting you know, like, you might have missed what happened last night.
For sure.
Yeah.
And what are you doing with all of these followers? Like because there are people that are really good at content creation and they can get the engagement, they can get the likes, the shares, all that kind of stuff. But how does this turn into money?
Yeah. So I'll give you the current and I'll give you a little bit of where we going.
Okay.
Not too much though, because the Fed's listening. What, Mahdi? Shout out to Lil Wayne. The first way it turned into money was we originally started a company called 100K Campaign. And we were going to do a year-long program teaching, coaching, walking entrepreneurs through how do you go through the thought process of building it, right? I don't know nothing about coaching at this point. So what I'm clear on is that the origin of this is not designed to show you're going to make $100,000 in 8 weeks or 12 weeks. If you're serious about learning the fundamentals of business, like, let's go on this journey. And whatever we build in the process, we'll be sharing in real time what we're learning about business too. So the first part started off strong, except for I made one fatal flaw. When I opened it up and said, help you get to this first 6 figures, I didn't know that everybody didn't know how far they were from it. Mentally, psychologically, physically. So there were people who signed up and they were like, I got an idea. Somebody else is like, I plateaued at 80,000. Well, an idea and 80,000, y'all are in completely different places, right? You've already burned the boats and you over here like, I ain't finna do this no time soon. I just want to see what's going on around here. But I took a group of people, it was about 100 or so folks that first year just in that private community. But I quickly was like, I don't want to keep growing this and throwing sort of good after bad. Like, let me coach y'all because I promise y'all I'll do that. But let me find a different way to teach. And so out of that came what I call classes. People still call courses, forgive me. The difference for me is the class should be able to be consumed in one sitting. A course is a lot of classes, call them modules, but like a lot of lessons. So the first like major revenue stream came from that and it exploded. And I was like, oh, there's demand outside of, everybody don't want to be in a 12-week program. Some people want to learn reels, learn carousels, learn whatever, and sort of get it going.
Got it.
So that was a starting point. Now we're coming full circle to where we began. The bigger part and where I'm going now with the team, I look at what's broken in information, coaching, whatever else. One, nobody wants to put a fork in the road and say, this is my promise. Two, you don't know how to vet who's good, who should you be listening to, who should you be purchasing from. So I'm saying, let's build a platform that addresses those things head on. And let's think of ourselves like Netflix, right? So we'll have original stuff that we put out, and then we'll have powered by Netflix. Gotcha. So David Shands teaches you how to build a $100,000 podcast. I like that. Powered by the 100K campaign. Yeah. And we sit with you and develop the curriculum and the rigor. I know you personally, but if we didn't, we vet you and make sure you do what you say you can do. Yeah. And now you know, like you might say, I'm too busy to be pushing a course, but we'll license it. We'll run the marketing campaign. We'll do everything. You get a calendar, go live with Mahdi here, show up this, turn in that, and how would you like to be paid? Quarterly, annually, whatever. So we're getting ready to build out that platform and specifically keep it tailored to like, how do I get to 6 and multi-6 figures? Yeah. Learning from different subject and different experts. Okay. So I'm gonna need you to teach on it, bro.
Yeah, let me.
You can teach podcasts, you can teach merch, you can teach whatever you want to do.
How big is your team already?
We've got.
Let me get some equity.
Let
me be older. Let me help out. So if you get that computer.
We can talk about it.
Yeah, this is incredible, bro. Yeah. Like you have a very, very unique brain, brother.
Yeah.
And it's not, I think part of it is gifted, but I really like the fact that you have a story of where all this comes from, all of the experiences. I think a lot of people don't want to go through the experiences, but it's so necessary to be able to deliver even the way that you deliver. Yo, let me ask you this question. Do you have and I was actually gonna ask you offline, but I'll just do it now. Do you have a model where you can either do it for me,
Yep.
like build a page for me, or if I have a team, you can kind of just tell them what to do and they do the thing. Do you have any models like that?
It's in development, right? So layer one of this sort of, let's just call it multi-phase approach. Layer one is we're going to get all the meat off the bone with the core team. Yeah. What is the stuff that we need to develop, teach, and let it run that marketing? Layer two is what's the done with you stuff.
Yeah.
And then layer three is what's the done for you. Because there's some people that's just like, look, either we just want to essentially buy your business model or we want you to come and run it through our company.
Yeah.
So I would say at the earliest, like realistically, we probably do some beta people, but like 12 months from now, yeah, we'll be able to pick clients at every price point.
Got it.
Relative to whatever results you want.
So like, and I think this could be a huge thing for you if you have the desire to build out the team or, there's going to be a direction. But like, for instance, I have a podcast summit coming up, right?
Yep.
In July. I should have a campaign going on that page.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It needs to be the right content, right messaging, so that we can drive people to say, this is where you need to be.
Yep.
And I mean, if you figure out how to do that, and it seems like you're figuring it out now, even event to event, it's like a very specialized thing. So we got to find the ad person, right? We got to find the web person, right? But also the social media strategist for the specific event. That would be something that I'd be interested in.
Yeah, we gonna have all of it. We got the ad person, the social media strategist. So that's what's coming, right?
Yeah. Let's cut these cameras off. So
let's talk equity.
I like it. Mahdi, man. Did we cover? There's no way to cover everything, but we've been here 2 hours.
I appreciate
this is my longest interview ever.
That's love, bro. My.
All right. Shout out to them. Really dope, really dope. Although we may be the second. I've been on his podcast before and probably got the second longest. If that's the longest, when I was on there, it was 2 hours and 2 minutes. But I guess it was 2 people on. But yeah, man, that was a great interview, man. I know y'all got some gems up out of that thing. Go ahead and press the number 1. Nope, don't press the number 1. Press the number 3 if you got something that you would like to share. Press the number 3 if you have something that you would like to share. Oh, and shameless plug, I've started a podcast called Authentic Business with Brother Ben. And I'm just sharing my thoughts and my experiences and my ups and my downs and things that I've learned. And that's on my YouTube, so go check that out. It's called Authentic Business with Brother Ben. All right, so let's see. First person we have up is Sister Farah.
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
Let's see. So what stood out to me was he spoke on finding his voice. He was trying to figure out what he wanted to talk about. Hold on one second. Something he said that stood out to me was sometimes your business won't be it'll be where you're supposed to go, not where you want it to go. Something like that. He also brought up that we have to stop overcomplicating it. And it reminded me of just accept your own and be yourself. When you create your content, just be your authentic self. He mentioned experimenting with your content, seeing what works and, seeing what doesn't. So really, we overcomplicating it by thinking we have to come into it perfect, that we have to be experts or pros in whatever the subject is to be successful. But really, it's just about going on what you do know, accepting your own and being yourself. And people will naturally gravitate towards you because you might be more relatable, being your authentic self. um, it made me think, what do we really have to lose, especially if you've already well, his situation, from what I hear, is like he kind of had no choice.
I can't hear you anymore. I don't know if it's just me. Can y'all hear her?
um he said, don't avoid your emotion, create from them. um I think we should just um focus on the blessing that you and those you help will receive if you do share your gift, versus who will suffer, what you'll suffer for not even trying. um yeah, I agree with him when you're saying we're overthinking it. And you don't have to be an expert or a professional. People want to see things from your experience, your perspective. Your perspective or experience with something might be more relatable, or the way you break something down might be easier for them to understand than an expert might explain it. Um, just develop and grow as you go, and document the process, and you'll watch your audience starts to develop their skills and grow right along with you. And those that follow you, um, who end up becoming experts, might even join your team and help you develop more value, bring more value to your content. Yeah, that's all I had.
Yes, ma'am.
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam. Thank you for sharing. One of the things that stood out to me was that he talked about how they tested and how they sent him on a trip. And when he was on that trip, basically, he wasn't getting paid what he thought, and he wasn't getting a promotion that he thought he should get. But the senior marketer was like, hey, man, you tripping. Like, this is your test. You the only person they got out here. And it was a test to see if they could handle the next level. And then he says, you don't get promoted by aspiring to do the next level. You take responsibility and start doing the next level. And he said, when they see you doing about 30% of the next level, then they promote you, and then they can give you bonuses to compensate that time and balance it back out. And then I'm going to correlate that with something that he talked about with the juvenile slide. It was very brief, so I hope you didn't miss it. But when he broke down the slide, the marketing strategy and the way that he would have done it, and he reached back out to them and said, hey, here it is. Do what you want with it. I'm just a marketer. This is what I do for fun. So he had found out his purpose and what he does for fun, that he would do even if he didn't get paid for it. Hint, hint. I don't know if y'all noticed it, but they said, would you like to have a meeting? Right? So she suggested for him to have a meeting with someone up, right? Hop on a call. That could have been an opportunity for payment for him. Now, he said he was too busy. You know what I mean? He had to get back to his business. But that could have been an opportunity that he did for free, offered it to them for free, and they wanted to say, hey, let's hop on a call. And of course, he probably could have been hired for a campaign, for something, and found him a way to be paid, versus always thinking that the only way for us to make money or get compensated for something it has to be just a sale. Like, it gotta be, they gotta buy my product. Like, what about you showing your value up front? So that's what I got out of those two things. Like, people want to see you do something up front, and then they see that, hey, what you have is worth the money that's in my pocket. But many of us do it backwards. We don't show our value. We don't explain our value. We have not built a brand that says our value for us, and then we're expecting to get all this type of money. No, you got to show your value first. Lead first, and then people will see how you can help them, and that makes it easy for somebody to swipe. That makes it easy for somebody to exchange the cash. So that's what one of the things that stood out for me. Anybody else have anything that stood out for you? Press the number 3 in the comments. All right. Not too many today. So another thing that stood out for me was the 3 pieces of content per day that he focuses on is each part of his funnel. So for those who don't know, there is a top of funnel, there's a middle of the funnel, then there's a bottom of the funnel. The top of the funnel is for people who do not know you. They are a cold audience. They have discovered you maybe on the explore page. They have seen you probably as a referral. Maybe they saw you posted on somebody else's page. So really they're in the process of still getting to know you, but they're not ready to buy from you right now. And where many of us go wrong is all the content on our page is for people at the bottom of our funnel. People that, and really we posting that content for people at the bottom of our funnel, and not too many people are even at the bottom of the funnel yet. We coming out the gate just straight up, man, let me buy something, buy this, buy that. When you should be educating up here, you should be giving value up here. And then when you come down here, maybe, okay, they're warm, they're more problem aware, but then maybe they need to see some testimonials that take them a little bit over the top, because now I'm more problem aware. This person up here isn't too problem aware, meaning they don't even know what the problem is. It's kind of like this. When you go, you're just going to get a checkup, right? And you going to the dentist and you're going to get a checkup. You don't know because there's no pain, right? There's no pain in the tooth. You don't know you got a cavity. You don't know, man, I got to get this mud pulled out. You don't know, man, I probably need a root canal. You see what I'm saying? So when you go in and then they scan you, now they're making you problem aware. Hey, man, look at this problem right here. Look at this problem right here. Look what you got to, man, this thing can get worse. So now I'm problem aware. Now they displaying to you, hey, what the price is. Hey, man, the price is going to be this. Hey, man, the price is going to be that. Now you like, that's a lot. But this pain that will happen in the future is going to be a lot as well. So sometimes our audience isn't too problem aware. And then after I am problem aware, now I maybe need to see who else has been in my similar circumstance. Who else have been without money? Who else have been homeless? Who else had less than 2,000? Who else built this same type of business that you helped? And now that I'm problem aware, I want to go with you because you got the testimonials, you got the results, you got the experience. But if we don't know these things in the marketing, we're putting out the wrong type of content, right? Then after they get to another type of point in your funnel, now you want to start maybe talking about the benefits. Here's the benefits. Here's the features. Here's the guarantees. Here's my promise, right? Here's the transformation that you'll have. But if you don't know those things, so I like how he said he focuses his 3 pieces of content per day for each level of his funnel or each type of audience, which will be your cold audience, warm audience, or your hot audience. That's a pretty cool way to do it. Okay, we got Mother 90 up next.
Assalamu alaikum, everyone. One of the, I guess, bigger things that he said that stood out to me was create emotionally, but post strategically. And for a lot of us who have business pages, we tend to sometimes like mix our business page with our personal page. If it's not pertaining to like your overall brand. But when you think about that statement, create emotionally, but post strategically, that will help you be able to find, I guess, the problem that you're trying to solve. Get them about the problem, feel how you feel about the problem and create based on how you feel about that issue. But then when you go to reveal it to your audience, you want to be able to post strategically so that way they too will be able to not only relate, but it's, for one, professionally done. But now you're tapping into their pain points and it can pretty much have this full circle type of effect. So that was something that I really liked that stood out to me. Assalamu alaikum.
Like salam. Brother Samuel.
Yes, sir. Assalamu alaikum, dear brother.
Well, like salam.
Yes, I got on kind of late. I've been sort of real busy lately, but what just off the little piece I heard, I like the marketing strategy. We talking about the rapper, how you get the smaller venues, sell them out, and build things up, and how you in between the thing, get the Netflix series and things of that nature. I said, wow. And then you come back and the big thing, you done built it up. I thought that was very unique. And I looked at from Jackson, Brother Dion, when he came here, Sanders, and what he doing in Colorado. I said, wow, that's the strategy he's following. He got he's building the one up, and he got the Netflix series out, and that's like, wow. I think he's taking his part in rap and music and maybe auto broadcasting and follow that same model. And I think that's why he's successful on that level differently than other coaches, because they generally don't do that. And I said, wow, that's sort of the same strategy. I thought that was interesting. That's all. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam. Sister Nadine. Am I saying that right? Sister Nadine?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
I am so happy I was on today because I know in the Nation of Islam, we are in the people business. And the thing that got me was everything he was talking about, all I was focused on is how to get our 40 million people to the Lamb of God. I was picking things out of what he was saying, how we could utilize in our teachings to go out here and get our people as we are taught by the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. That's what we need to do. So a lot of things and tips that he gave were also designed to use those strategies to do that. So a lot of points that I put down is for that reason, to keep us focused on the things that we are told that we are supposed to be doing as far as going to get our people and raising our people to life. That's all. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. Who we got up next? Brother. Wait, did I skip Brother Daniel? No, Brother Daniel just went. You just went, right?
No, I
brother?
didn't.
You didn't go?
No, sir.
My bad. I apologize for that, Brother Daniel.
No. Yes, sir. No problem, great brother. One of the points that stood out was the point you raised and reversed it and raised it again, let him say it again, was about when he was disappointed that he thought he was on a mission that was disadvantageous to him. He saw it as nothing, but it was actually his test. So that made me think about the supreme wisdom wherein Allah says, qualify yourself for the positions awaiting you. And that Allah won't give us something that we haven't qualified ourselves to maintain. The work has to be done first. To get what we want is going to come by great tests and trial. There's no easy road. Also, when the brother was going through just his life story and how he was broke, didn't have money to park, stuff that you really wouldn't, that people go through these things, but you really wouldn't know unless they told you. But also I looked at his attitude when he suffered those things. It didn't seem like, oh God, it's over with. The brother had a mindset of a winner's attitude and a leadership type mindset where it was this is just a circumstance for now. But eventually I'm going to be able to do the things I need to do. And he was, and then he also capitalized on the car that he didn't even have the money to park in. I thought that was very, very powerful. It was another point. I hope it don't slip my mind. There was a few things he said. That point, the hardship. I'm gonna have to come back around because those are the 2 points that stood out right away.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Another great thing that he talked about was asking the community why they are there, why they joined, and how would they explain why somebody needs to join. Because oftentimes as a coach, it's not that you forget why you started, but it's best to just get the pain point directly from your student. Like, you may have an idea, they join because they want to make money. They join because they want to learn how to build a business. But then there are some intricate things under that you may not be aware of. And those things needs to be said in your content, right? Like, yeah, I want to learn how to make money, but my pain point may be I struggle with making consistent content, coming up with ideas. So instead of me just saying, hey, want to learn how to make money online, now I'm saying something more deeper that is the pain point of my audience that's going to resonate better, that attracts somebody. So now versus saying, hey, you want to make money online, I'm talking about, hey, do you want to learn how to make more consistent content without spending hours looking at your computer? So that may hit somebody much deeper because I'm translating and I'm giving you what the students and what the people are saying the pain point is. And if we don't speak, this goes back to the supreme wisdom. If we don't speak the language of the people, then we won't be successful. Man, that's deep, ain't it, man? So yeah, you gotta, as a coach, as a whatever you do, product, you gotta always try to get the feedback and be mindful of the questions that they're asking to see, okay, that's the problem. That's what I need to communicate. That's the messaging that needs to be on the website. That's the messaging that needs to be in the email and the text message. That's why this is really deep, man. People think it's just about creating a product and then, okay, I got my link together and then it's in my bio now and then let's sell. Like, no, there's a lot of stuff you got to understand about your customer. There's a lot of stuff you got to understand about why somebody buy. Like, man, I'm in a training now that I'm looking at in the book, and it's about why people buy. You know what I mean? People buy for different reasons based on my personality type. You know, one person may buy because now you're showing me how organized I'm gonna be, right? Another person may buy because man, you're showing me how much money I can make and how I'm going to be known by a lot of people. You see what I'm saying? So different people buy for different reasons. And if you're selling, man, this is some deep stuff. And I'm going to bring this to y'all in a couple weeks. So y'all give me a second. I'm in training. But if you're trying to sell somebody on your personality type and they're the opposite personality type, hold on. And so if you're trying to sell somebody on the personality type of you, how you would buy, and they the opposite, that will actually turn them off. And let me say this as I close, as a marketer and somebody who's been in this for a minute. You can try to improve your product a lot. And you may think making my product better is what's going to make me more money. Oftentimes, that's not the truth. Why do you say that? The reason I say that is because nobody even sees your product if you got bad marketing. So I can make my product and my program is the best that it can be. But if I'm not resonating with my audience, if I'm not resonating and getting people to opt in, they'll never see how good of a product it is. So those of us who I don't really want to, I'm not good at marketing and I'm not good at content and I'm just not, you better find you a team member that is. You better find you someone who is. You better hire a VA who may be. Because if you don't resonate with me, if you never resonate with me, I never will be able to see how great your product is or how great your program is. So these are the type of things we got to sit down, take hours, learn. And it's not something you learn over time. Man, I've been marketing since 2010. And it's still things that I'm learning about marketing. It's still things. I mean, I've been able to help so many businesses, for people get 6 figures, 7 figures here, 7 figures, less than a year. But I'm still learning, dang, man, I could have did that better. Man, I just learned I was selling that wrong. Oh, man, I could have did it like this. So, like, man, you're going to be forever evolving in this thing. But I just want to share that and give y'all that perspective Because I know there are some people who's thinking, well, let me just make my ebook this much better. Let me just make this, like, yeah, improve your product. Try to have the greatest product as possible. But also remember, if nobody's even opting in, if nobody's paying attention to it, it don't matter how good it is. So let's go to Brother Greg.
Assalamu alaikum. I was able to fix it because it said Maximus before, and Maximus is my dog name.
Hey.
So, I wanted to touch the bases with marketing. It was interesting. I was on the phone with a friend of mine that's the marketing manager for Anheuser-Busch, and we were talking about the times and what you were just saying, understanding the people language. And we were talking about the automotives, like how you notice with this time, a lot of the average people, middle class, are suffering, not spending the money. So if you notice, when you look at like General Motors and a lot of other things, they're stopping production on the little cars and they're investing more in the Escalades and stuff like that. And my buddy was telling me, well, the normal sales for Anheuser-Busch went down, but their VIP went up. It goes to say the marketing, the people with the money, the economy is not affecting. Is what I'm saying. So they boosted more money into their VIP. So they had the Farmers Insurance golf tournament this past weekend in Torrey Pines out here in San Diego, and the money that they generated. So it's just interesting. Like you said, you got to pay attention to the people today and their needs and wants. And there's just certain areas when you marketing, just like when I was talking about the dollar store yesterday, and I mentioned the SWOT analysis also, that's a very important thing, and understanding the people. You know, you look at where people are cutting costs, where they're shopping, and that's a good approach. Even when you look at stocks, you know, like in the winter in certain places, you're going to invest in heating stocks. Why? Because heating goes up, energy stocks. In the summer, energy stocks go down. So you got to pay attention to the economic indicators that are going on. And that's all I wanted to say. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Up next, we got Brother Daniel.
Yes, sir. I don't know if Brother Greg spoke, but I'll forego for him if this is his first time.
Yeah, that's him. That's Brother. We do him as Brother Maximus, but he's actually Brother Greg.
Oh, okay. I thought. Oh, yes, sir. All right. I'll go ahead. Another thing I'm seeing principle wise, is when the brother spoke about he was in a job and he had realized that job don't fit his character. It don't fit who he is. So he had to get out of it because he wasn't going to be able to what we call be himself in it. You know, that teaches us that we know we're doing something that we got outgrown. We got to know when to let things go and move on. Then also, when he left the job to go on his own, they can make it awful. I was here for 1 day, all of this type of stuff, and he was so determined to leave. There was nothing they can give him to change his mind. Those are great principles to have because those are the very root. That's the very root of what's going to make us successful in business. And as Brother Ben has given us these great points on how to run business, he's also been giving us great points of those foundational stones of principles and things that we have to even arrive to the point where we're using some of these various marketing things and whatnot. So those are some of the things that I'm looking at personally, because I know I got to build myself up in certain areas to begin to make moves in business where I don't compromise my soul. I'm being myself, doing something that's genuine and authentic to self. I'm not working for money, but I'm being myself, and the money is coming as a consequence of service.
Yes, sir. Man, Brother Greg, I just sat here and thought about something. Man, you done had us. You just said that was your dog. Now, you've been letting me call you Brother Maximus this whole year. Man, you been letting me call you the dog name, man, the whole year. Oh, golly, man. Sister Sandra, go ahead.
Assalamu alaikum. I just want to say that I want to mention, and it stayed on my mind heavy, Your livelihood have a lot to do with your success in whatever you invest in and your business. That's what I want to say. It's got a lot to do with your livelihood to be successful. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for sharing. All right. Let me see if I have anything else on mind. Nope. I ain't got nothing else I want to share on mine per se. Well, I do got some other notes for myself. Oh, well, one more thing. Coaching. He says now hindsight is 2020. He's able to share some of these things through coaching and consulting because of the experience that he had. And I just wanted to remind us that I know you don't like going through your mistakes. I know dang man, I didn't know this, but really it's an asset of yours, right? Like I look at it as an asset. Man, some stuff I done learned and been through these last couple of years. It's unfortunate, but then I look at it and say, man, I probably wouldn't have even learned this if I didn't go through this. You know what I'm saying? So it's bittersweet, you know, because you made mistakes or you didn't know this, but then now you know it, and you through experience put yourself in a position as a coach, and if you look at it from that attitude. I seen somebody post something the other day, said, if you had, I don't know how much money in your account just out of nowhere, what would you do? I said, the first thing I would do is I will find me the best mentor that have had money, lost money, made mistakes, overcame those mistakes, and is in the position that I would like to be in. Because I want to learn from somebody who made some mistakes. Who because through mistakes and through experience, I believe you get a deeper insight. You know what I'm saying? Like we can talk about, you got to have systems and you got to do, but when you have been in a business that did not have systems, you know what that feels like to be unorganized. You know what it feels like when you got somebody doing something and then you check it and it's not fixed because y'all didn't have a system together. You know what it feels like to be in a position where you have said, damn, I'll stay up to 2:00 in the morning and do it myself. And then, internally, you realize, bro, even if I do it myself, it's not going to be enough because the amount of work that needs to be done, I can't do it myself no more. So when I was a solo entrepreneur, I could have that mindset. I'll just do it. But even if I have that mindset on a bigger scale, there's not enough time. And so when you know how that feel yourself, oh man, the type of insight you have is different than just, you're supposed to have systems and everybody should communicate. Like, no, you know what to really communicate. You know how to get it done. You know what I'm feeling and what I'm going through. So, man, don't take your experience. There was a quote that said, if you take back some of your experiences, you got to remove the wisdom that you have now. So some of us didn't go to school, or some of you did go to school, but there's certain subjects you didn't get into, or you didn't have the money to pay for it. So we still in school. So we college ain't the only way to go to school. High school ain't the only way to go to school. There are things that some people learn and that we know deeper than the professor, because the professor giving us what he read. Some professors teaching business don't have a business. They know how to teach it good. They giving you what the book says and the literature and the curriculum is good. But man, because you done been up and then you done been down and then you rebuilt it and then you're learning in real time, that type of insight, man, makes you a good coach. Makes you a good. So that's why when I look at now this is just an example, because I know somebody gonna still have an opinion. When people say, oh, Steve Harvey got he got 4 divorces, he got this, how he gonna teach somebody? I say, shoot, this is my opinion. I mean, he should be able to. He done been with different women, different personalities. He know what his mistake was. He know what their mistake was. I mean, I know you want to look for a person who just been married for 50 years. That's good. You can learn from them too. But there's some people that say, well, he got some type of knowledge. He got some experience. Even if it's, hey, this is where I messed up at. Even if it's, this is where we messed up at. That's valuable knowledge to have. So I don't see it, oh, just because somebody wasn't successful, you can't learn from them, please. I don't, them type of posts, I don't believe them posts. Shoot, if you done had a business, then you messed up and you built it back up, man, I can't say, oh, I can't learn from you because you had a failed business. How many white people that we know today that's billionaires? What's the thing we always hear? They went bankrupt and then they built it back up, and everybody got these ups and downs. So I'm saying that to say, don't get down on yourself, man, because you're making mistakes and you don't understand certain things. And last year in business, you didn't do as well and you didn't know this. Learn whatever you need to learn. And then this year, learn whatever you need to learn. Next year, learn whatever you need to learn. And then we're going to look back 7 years later and say, ooh, boy, I'm better. What they say? Never would have made it. I'm wiser. When I look back over all you brought me through, that's what we're going to be going back to church, boy. Oh, we going back to church. So, yeah, man, I'm one of them ones who going to dive in and just get it wrong. Come on, yeah, I'm going to just dive in and get it wrong like a mug. But then over time, I can always look back, even if you got to look back and you the only person that'll say it to yourself, boy, you doing better. And there's another gospel song I like. It said, encourage yourself. Some in the Lord. You got to go back and listen to them old gospel songs. Stop acting like you ain't, because you done got conscious. You can't listen to them old gospel songs no more. Man, you better turn on them gospel songs when you going through it. This is one of my good ones here. Ooh, look at this. Yeah, y'all know this song. No, Sister Sherry seen that song. Where's Sister Sherry at? Yeah. Man, you throw that on. Look, and listen to the word. Look, she say, sometimes you got to encourage. Cause see, everybody not gonna do it for you, soldier. Look. Over yourself. Be healed. See, you gotta sometimes sit here and say, it's all right, boy. It's all right. Hey, man, listen, if your coach don't say nothing to you, if your mentor don't say nothing to you, if your child don't say nothing to you, if your husband don't say nothing to you, if your wife don't say nothing, you got to speak over yourself. Encourage yourself. You got to look back over all that you done came through and say, yeah, ain't nobody acknowledging it, but God dang it, you doing better than you did 6 months ago. You doing better than you did 12 months ago. You doing better than you was 3 months ago. I was there with you when you was there at night and you didn't know what the hell to do. At least you know what to do now, boy. Oh, at least you know what to do now, sister. See, you gotta, self-talk. Self-talk is real, man. Oftentimes, man, what really take us to the next level and what put us down is what we saying to ourselves. You can't do this. You ain't smart enough. You ain't got enough resources. You ain't got enough time. No, you got to be that motivator in your mind. Come on, boy, you got this. Man, you can do this. Yeah, you ain't got it now, but boy, we can do this here. Shut up. Turn that damn TV. That's how I talk to myself, man. Turn that TV off. Man, no, get off that YouTube channel. Man, we got work to do. Man, what you doing? Man, come on, man. We may die tomorrow. Man, we may drive this car and somebody may run a red light and kill us. Man, you better come on with it. Yeah, you got to talk to yourself, man. You got to encourage yourself. And then I got another one. I'm just giving you gospel. I'm going back to my Baptist days now. Yeah. The minister said he liked that gospel music too, so don't get it twisted. Now, then you turn on this right here. Hold on, I got something for you. Oh, boy, I got some gospel song for you. But boy, then you got this one here when you've been crying. My mama used to listen to this one. This one you've been crying and been going through it, and you going through it, and you going through it, and you feel like it ain't gonna stop. You put this one right here on. Ooh, you put this one right here on. Ooh, you put that bad boy on right there. Hey, I've had enough heartaches. Come on now. Yeah, y'all wasn't expecting this morning, was you? Yeah, I'm finna give you some songs that you can listen to. Ooh, them sisters here. This Mary. Hold on. Look. Come on now, sister. I know I'm finna get banned. They finna strike my channel like a mug, but hey. Ooh, look what they say. I've had so many ups and downs. See, you got that one. That's why I can't play the whole song because they gonna strike me down. And I got one more for you. Now this next one right here, this last one I'm gonna play for you. I forgot how the song go. Man, how this song go? It's an older guy. Man, I can't remember. It's losing me. God, dog. Well, I got another one for you. I can't think about what that one was. His name Paul? I forgot what it was. But this song right here, now this song is by Brother Murphy. Look, this song, how many of y'all out there feeling like, man, listen, man, I've been doing what you saying, Brother Ben. I've been putting the work in. I've been posting. I've been trying. I've been doing this here, and it just seems like ain't nothing working. I can't get a break. I can't. Then I put this song right here on. I say, this is when you get encouraged. And he said, this is, come on. Look, this is my season. Look, for grace. Look, for favor. Woo. This is my season. What, to do what? To read what I have. So, now, I like how they put the words in there. Look, watch this. Look. I haven't been perfect. See, he acknowledged it. Hey, I ain't been perfect now. But look. But I so been faithful. Watch this, come on. Cause God's got a purpose. Hey, look. And I know he's able. I got a seed in the ground. How many of y'all got a seed in the ground? Ooh, how many of us got a seed in the ground? It ain't germinated yet. Oh, it ain't watermelon season. It ain't came up yet, but how many of us got a seed in the ground though? Oh, and we just watering it. And then there may be people around you that say, you ain't producing no fruit. You ain't growing. You ain't no farmer, but they just don't know that you got a seed in the ground and that it's covered and it's in darkness right now and it's being watered right now and it take a little more time for it to come on out. But you got to know yourself. If don't nobody know, I got a seed in the ground. Oh, and in a minute, ooh, it's gonna come up and everybody gonna be ready to eat then. Yeah, everybody gonna be coming over with their bucket then. Yeah, everybody gonna want a bucket then. When that fruit get to coming up, when that watermelon get to come up looking good and juicy, you knock on it. I don't know how to knock on it, but you know how you go to the grocery store and you knock on that thing. Oh yeah, that's a sweet one there. I don't know what it's supposed to sound like, but that's a sweet. Everybody gonna come with their bucket when it starts to germinate, but you gotta know yourself. You gotta encourage yourself. Yeah, you gotta know that you're wise and you're better. You wouldn't be there without him, and you gotta know that you got a seed in the ground. So y'all get y'all gospel music up, man. Don't put that gospel music up just cause y'all done got conscience and you know the reality of God, man. You gotta listen to them songs with the reality of God filter, and say, okay, that's how I'm interpreting that song right there. Like when he said, it's something about the name Jesus. Ooh, it is the sweetest name. Don't be listening, I can't listen to that song no more. No, you got to know who the Jesus is. And I missed today. Ooh. Come on, Sister Shalon. I done woke Sister Shalon up. Come on, Sister Shalon.
You wake me up. I've been woke. I just want to show my face because of where I am. But can you put those songs in the chat? Can you put us a little list of those together so I can, because right now I need some encouragement. I'm going through this stuff and it's getting on my nerve. And I need some encouragement over here so I can get through this mess. So them songs, I'm liking those. And I need to get back to my gospel listening. Because I grew up in the church. So me coming into the nation, we don't have that. So I want to get back into that. So come on, put those in the chat for me.
Yeah. What I'm gonna do, I may put together a Brother Ben X gospel list. God is making me a curator. He say, I just need you to curate the best videos. And now it seems like he want me to curate the best music. Oh, okay. I see where we're going with this. Let me see if I can find. I really want to find that one that I'm looking for. It's an older brother. He be like, man, I can't even remember what he's saying. I don't want to leave without playing the song. He goes, man, it ain't yesterday. It's his name is, I think his name is Paul. Gospel music. Paul. Something is telling me Paul. I won't complain. That's what it is. Ooh. It's called I Won't Complain. There it is. He said, I had some good days. There it is. Brother Paul. See, my mind knew it at the end because I ain't trying to get. He said, I'll just say thank you, Lord. Lord. Oh, come on, man. Because think about it, man. We done had some bad days, boy. Man, we done had some bad days, but we done also had some good days. It's some people right now that can't walk at all, and I don't want to walk. It's some people right now that can't drive at all, and I don't even want to drive. Oh, man, there's some people that can't do some stuff, and here I am, got all the capabilities they wish they have, and I don't even want to do it. It ain't until I get sick and I can't taste my food till I start thanking God for my taste buds. It ain't till I'm in the basketball game and I jam my pinky. I say, "Ooh, I thank you, Lord, for my pinkies." It ain't until you stump your toe. I'm talking about you walking by your bed and you, damn, and that toe get to hurt. You say, "Thank you for my toes." Man, it ain't until you get that toothache and they get the throbbing right here. I don't know if y'all ever had one of them toothaches where it began to throb right here and then your temple began to boom, boom, boom. But the toothache is that bad. You say thank you when I didn't have a tooth. You begin to thank him for just having a face that don't hurt. I mean, it's the little things that you begin to thank him for when you're going through the pain. You look at people who could barely breathe and you say, "Thank you, Lord, for allowing him or allowing the breath to come in." Oh, I don't have trouble breathing right now. I can smell my food. I can see good. I got hands, all 10 hands. All 10 fingers, all 10 toes. You just begin to be so thankful for certain things, man, when you're going through something. So I say, "Lord, I'm going through it. Ooh, I can't get this right. Ooh, I can't do this." But then, boy, look at all the things you have gotten right. Look at all the blessings I have gave you. You know what I'm saying? You got your children. Sometimes they may get on your nerve, but then there's some people who didn't even have children, son. They wanted children and theirs didn't even come out right, son. They were stillborn. Huh? Some people scared that your business not where you want it to be, but it's some people right now, boy, that ain't even got the desire to take the leap to grow their business. It's some people right now, my ebook ain't doing as good, but son, some people still got their ebook in their head. They can't even get it out because they scared. At least you done made it that far. Oh, you just get to looking at life and saying, "Ooh, I won't complain. Damn, I won't complain." Somebody died yesterday. I be looking on Instagram sometime and I can't believe what they allow to be on Instagram and Facebook and Twitter. I'm looking at people dying on social media. I looked at one person in China. They was walking down the sidewalk and an air condition fell from one of the houses, buildings up there and killed her instantly. That could have been me. I've been walking down the sidewalk before. Me and my wife and my children went to get us a little Italian ice and we done been walking down. That could have happened to me. That could have happened to them, but it didn't happen. I'm still here today. But here I wake up early in the morning. I wake up every day and then I be mad. Mad at what? Is what we mad at really enough to be mad at? Be upset about when you think about what's happening to people all around social media. Man, I'm looking at what's happening overseas when Sean King is posting this stuff. I can't believe Instagram is allowing that on there, but they can't. That's a whole nother story. But when I see these heads smashed in between rocks and between buildings, I'm saying, Lord, man, I can't complain. Ooh, I can't complain. What can I complain about? And he looks down or he looks at us and we look at him and we say, "Oh, look at this. You just ungrateful. You're ungrateful." for the life I've given you, for the wisdom that I've given you. Some of us are in situations right now, not because we have to be in them. It's because we got some type of knowledge that we ain't acted on yet. He's already given us the wisdom through what we already have internally or what he has brought to us through another human being. So we got the knowledge. We just ain't applying it. And so we put ourselves in certain conditions. He has sent messengers for us and recommended certain things for us that we ain't even tried out yet, that we ain't even went to yet. And then we say, oh, Lord, but I'm going through it. And you know what the scripture says? He said, why do you cry out, Lord, Lord, and don't do what I say? Oh, so the Lord ain't no fool. He ain't no fool with us, man. He know, man, hey, man, why you keep crying out, Lord, Lord, and won't do what I say? That ain't me that got you in that condition. That's you. So I would just say, thank you, Lord. Man, them gospel music get it too. Boy, them gospel songs again. And then they got a sister called This Is My Exodus. Y'all, man, they got some songs, man. Y'all don't sleep on them. Don't sleep on them gospel songs now, man. Ooh, don't sleep on them gospel songs. Man. So I gotta go. But man,
thank you.
Man, praise be to Allah. Pray y'all go. Oh, I didn't know our brother Ben was a Baptist preacher.
Allahu Akbar.
Yes.
We waiting on that music playlist. We waiting on that playlist, brother.
Yeah, I'm gonna put that playlist
so
together.
Beautiful. Thank you for that music, brother.
Praise be to Allah. So, sister, we're gonna let sister Yasina come up today since she's leading that thing. Go ahead and let us know what's happening today on the Power Call Sisters chat.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
All right, assalamu alaikum. So tonight on the Sisters chat, we're going to start at 8:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And our goal is to be off by 10. But this month, kicking off February, we're going to talk about self-talk. What do we say in our minds? Wow. Those self-defeating conversations that we have, and offer tools to help us to change the trajectory of our thinking so that we can live a much more prosperous life in our own being. So that's what we're going to talk about tonight. And then next week, we're going to talk about stop lying, all the lies we tell ourselves, and replace all of that with positive thinking and all that. So it's just basically just getting us to the point where we can become the women of God in word and in deed. So inshallah, you all will come on. We had a wonderful time last week, and I do give you homework. So be prepared. And that's it. All right. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. See, that's self-talk. I didn't even know they was talking about that. So that must be God must have that in the spirit. He must have that up in there somewhere. So I thank y'all for listening. I'm late to my meeting. I didn't even know our meeting was supposed to start at 11 today. See, that's what I'm talking about. I need a double. So I'll see you guys, inshallah, tomorrow morning. Assalamu alaikum.
Is Brother Ben here? Brother Ben. Now, Ben got a heck of a program. A lot of people listening to Brother Ben. And Ben tells them about the minister.